Let's rewind to 1971, a year when Led Zeppelin ruled the skies and Pink Floyd built sonic cathedrals, but beneath the legends were bands who burned just as bright, if only for a moment. And the one at number one, it traveled through time, literally.
Give me your love, child.
Number 15, Simple Song by Fuzzy Duck. Fuzzy Duck didn't just have a name you'd never forget. They had a groove that could stop traffic in downtown London. Simple Song hits you with a Hammond organ so raw, it feels like it's carving open the sky. The bass line punches, the vocals wail, and the whole thing feels like it belongs on a bigger stage than they ever got. If you were around in 71, this track might have been spinning on someone's older brother's turntable. The one with the beer rings on the cover, but it never made it to mainstream. You're going to want to hold on to your headphones because next we bring in a band that should have walked shoulder to shoulder with Hendrix. Number 14, Black Sheep of the Family by Fat Mattress.
Light on me and my nose, 'cause I need a bit of sympathy. You get a little bad luck and it grows and it grows.
They were started by Noel Redding, yes, the bassist from the Jimi Hendrix Experience. But Black Sheep of the Family wasn't about riding coattails. It was a proud, snarling anthem of rebellion, a track for every kid who never fit in. The guitar licks are greasy, the beat swings, and the vocals, they're dripping with attitude. It was a proto-glam, pre-punk roar that felt 5 years ahead of its time. But Fat Mattress never broke through, and this track was lost to history's B-side. Coming next, a song that feels like it was played in a cathedral built from synths. Number 13, Prelude by Rare Bird. Prelude.
Someone's really gonna hurt you.
Wasn't just a track. It was a slow-motion meteor shower of keyboards and layered emotion. Rare Bird tapped into something deeper, something spiritual, a proggy orchestral build that never quite explodes, but somehow lifts you anyway. It's moody, cerebral, and so very British. This was the kind of song that made you feel like you were witnessing the birth of something. But the band would dissolve into obscurity before the world could catch up, and inspired a generation of misfits and dreamers. But next, we bring it back to the soft glow of a love song, written like a poem. And I'll write you a poem if you hit the subscribe button right now. Number 12, Sleepy Hollow by Sleepy Hollow. This self-titled track is what happens when you wrap psych rock in a dream coat of harmony and myth. Sleepy Hollow built melodies the way Tolkien built worlds, lush, winding, and a little haunted. Their vocals float like early Bee Gees, but there's a wilderness underneath, a tension that hints at the era's chaos. You can practically hear the Vietnam War draft dodgers and acid trips in the backdrop of this tune. They released one album, vanished and left behind this hidden gem, like a time capsule. But hold tight, because next we head into the German underground, and it gets intense. Number 11, Drowning Man by Message.
The children are now all playing with guns. It's many years since they played only with balls.
Message came out of Germany with something darker, more brooding, more mechanical. Drowning Man is a prog rock drenched in despair, with cascading guitar lines and a rhythm section that feels like it's counting down to the end. They weren't singing for stadiums. They were singing from the edge of the world. This was European rock, unfiltered, raw, and pulsing with Cold War angst. And while they never hit the charts, their sound would echo years later in bands like Eloy and Nectar. Next, though, we're bringing in the Thunder, a band that kicked the door open with one record and disappeared just as fast. Number 10, Beginning of the End by Hound. This track is pure, unapologetic riff worship. Hound blended bluesy swagger with proto-metal grit, and Beginning of the End sounds like it was made to melt amplifiers. It's got that Sabbath-style weight, but with a little more strut in its step. Vocals howl like a mad preacher at the end of the world, fitting for a band whose name came from a pulp horror novel. They only released one album, but it's a collector's gold mine now. If you ever wanted to know what Zeppelin might have sounded like if they never left the basement, this is it. But hold up, next, we've got a band that dressed like angels and played like devils. Number 9, Plastic People by White Witch.
Fog is clearing, I can see it, but
You've never seen glam like this. White Witch took the stage in glitter, silk, and full-on cosmic mystique. Plastic People was their glam rock battle cry, catchy, chaotic, and packed with psychedelic keys and theatrical vocals that flipped between Bowie and Bolan. But beneath the glitter was rage, a sneering commentary on consumer culture and conformity. This was Florida's answer to the London scene, and it was dazzling. Yet America wasn't quite ready for their celestial freak show. Coming next, a power trio that made volume their instrument and nearly broke the sound barrier. Number 8, Heaven Knows by May Blitz.
The love you make me feel.
This one's for the headbangers who lived in denim and distortion. May Blitz weren't interested in chart positions. They came to melt minds. Heaven Knows is a heavy, sprawling thunderstorm of fuzzed-out guitar, hypnotic drums, and bass lines that sound like they were recorded inside a volcano. It's part Sabbath, part Cream, all ferocity. Their songs were too long for radio and too weird for the mainstream, but they lit fires in the UK underground. Turn this one up and you'll understand why their records are holy grails now. Next up, a band that deserved a spot next to Yes, but vanished before the prog boom even began. Number 7, Stranded by Cressida. If heartbreak had a time signature, Cressida knew it by heart. Stranded is lush and melancholic, a symphonic rock piece that leans into orchestration without losing its pulse. It's tender, theatrical, and achingly beautiful. Cressida should have toured with King Crimson or Genesis, but they folded before their flame could spread. This song is a masterclass in restraint. Everything builds, but nothing overwhelms. It's like watching a tragedy unfold in slow motion, and yet it's weirdly comforting. Up next, we take a hard left into the swampy side of British rock, where the grooves are dirty and the vocals snarl. Number 6, Let It Slide by Tofat.
Space, like a true nature child. We were born to be wild. We can fly so high, but never wanna.
Tofat might have had the worst band name in rock history, but Let It Slide is pure fire. This track hits with a greasy, blues-infused swagger, gritty vocals, grinding guitar riffs, and a rhythm section that doesn't just keep time, it stomps it into the ground. Before Uriah Heep and Jethro Tull found their commercial stride, Tofat was bridging the gap with this kind of loose, explosive sound. It's music made for motorbikes, bar fights, and late-night radio, but they slipped through the cracks. A footnote in liner notes instead of a headliner on the main stage. Next, a track that's equal parts organ-fueled nightmare and underground poetry. Number 5, I'm a Loser by Aardvark.
No, 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 no. No, no, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop.
Here's one for the loners, the outsiders, the quiet rebels. Aardvark's I'm a Loser takes melancholy and turns it into power. The organ work on this track, mesmerizing. Think The Doors by the Way of Canterbury, brooding, cerebral, and strangely comforting. The song swirls in minor chords and existential dread, but there's beauty in how vulnerable it dares to be. It wasn't made for stadiums. It was made for headphones and rainy nights. Aardvark never released another album, just this one cry into the void. Coming up, a band named after a mythical warrior with songs that hit like prophecy. Number 4, Gray Skies by Titus Groan. Titus Groan played rock like it was literature, layered, progressive, and brimming with mood. Gray Skies doesn't just set a scene. It paints a landscape of emotional fog and slow-burning drama. The guitar weeps, and the flutes flutter in and out like ghosts, and the whole thing feels like it could soundtrack a lost Shakespearean tragedy. They were named after a character from Mervyn Peake's Gothic fantasy novels, and their music lived up to that strange, majestic world. This track deserves to echo in concert halls, not just in collectors' vinyl crates. Next, a song that starts as a whisper and ends with the sound of the earth cracking open. Number 3, Song for Jeffrey by Marsupilami.
Will you step into the sea with me?
Not to be confused with the Jethro Tull classic, Marsupilami's Song for Jeffrey is a whole different beast. This was avant-garde rock dipped in acid and stirred with a jazz drummer's soul. From its eerie flute openings to the explosive breakdowns, the song moves like a fever dream, unpredictable, dramatic, and oddly spiritual. Marsupilami was never built for the charts. They were built for the fringes, the basement clubs, the festivals and muddy fields, the late-night radio where nothing made sense. And that was the point. This was art rock with teeth, and it still bites. Next up, we unearth a track that roars like a wolf and runs like a locomotive. Number 2, Baker's Field Run by Raw Material.
It will all come back to me.
Raw Material might be one of the most criminally slept-on bands of the 70s. Bakersfield Run is prog rock at its wildest, switching tempos, moods, and even genres mid-track without ever losing steam. Horns blast like a jazz ensemble, guitars scream with righteous fury, and the rhythm section plays like it's possessed. It's theatrical, bold, and unrelenting, like King Crimson's rebellious younger brother. You can hear the desperation in every note to matter, to be heard, to not fade away. And yet, they did. But now, the moment you've been waiting for. A track so ahead of its time, it named its destiny. Number 1, Time Machine by Beggars Opera.
A time when all our men are free.
This is it, the crown jewel of forgotten genius. Time Machine isn't just a title, it's a mission. This song sounds like time travel, beginning in medieval melodrama and spiraling into futuristic synth runs, kaleidoscope guitars, and vocal arrangements that feel ripped from a dream. Beggars Opera were opera in name and epic in delivery. This was music for thinkers and wanderers, for anyone who believed rock could be both brain and body. And yet, they got left behind. Maybe they flew too close to the sun, or maybe the world just wasn't ready. But now you are. If you just discovered even one new brand that made your heart race, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you're hungry for more lost legends like these. These were 15 obscure rock bands from 1971 that should have been famous, each one a missing piece in the soundtrack of a revolutionary era. Which track hit you the hardest? Which one are you adding to your playlist right now? And if you thought this journey through rock's forgotten corners was wild, just wait till we take you to 1973. Forgotten soul songs that deserved a Grammy. It's the next video waiting on your screen. And trust me, you need to hear what got left behind that year. Because in music, as in life, it's not just about what's remembered. It's about what we choose to remember. The past is loud. Stay tuned.